We got a message from a good old boy out in a bluegrass state. He's been hooting and hollering. Apparently he's got an affinity for Winchester lever-action rifles. He's got himself a good old rifle. Calls it Yellow Boy. Apparently it's an 1866 Winchester. Tan, which you've got a nice hide for that, with contrasting color like a burgundy. For the lace and he requested that we make him a loop for the 45 Colt. So we got our leather, authentic, 100% authentic steer hide. I'm gonna go ahead and start that project for him. Okay, so we've got a template that we use for our lever action rifles or Winchesters and many others. And this was one of the first ones that we made, first covers that we made. You know, it was kind of a test for test fits and stuff like that, and see what looks good with different types of threading and loops and so on and so forth. Yeah, so we're starting with that. We've got it placed on top of our hide that we're going to cut. Going to hit it with a little bit of Vicks to soften it up a little bit. So we've got a piece of leather here that we're going to cut the same shape, and so we can double that up. We'll untie that. Alright, so we've got our two pieces of leather. Okay, and combined we're going to end up with get out my fancy measuring device. Combined we're looking at 0.16, which equates to 4.2 millimeter. So we've got before we apply the barge, we're going to just rough up the finished side or the smooth side of this leather. Alright, that'll make it more susceptible to adhesion. Okay, so at this point we're going to break out the barge. Okay, so we'll set that aside, one half, and then we've got the second half here. Okay, hey, we're back. We got the two halves here. We let these cure for about 15 minutes with the barge, and now we're gonna mate these two pieces together. All right, so make sure that you're ready to put them together. Once these two make contact, they pretty much permanent. So make sure you get these placed in the right spot. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna apply some pressure, just with the palms of my hands, and then I've got my custom we've got nice velvety backing. This backing, or this piece of leather in the back, is approximately estimating the age at about 40 years. Okay, so this was a vintage piece that we obtained from an estate sale a number of years ago. It was stored, so it may be older, but we're thinking it's at least 40 years old. So, great piece. Look at the way that brushed out. It's beautiful. Okay, so from here we're going to trim the excess leather. Alright, so to make this as strong as possible, to make it last as long as possible, and also for aesthetic value, we are going to stitch like this. Okay, we're going to stitch the entire outline of this. Okay, so alright, so we're going to break out some of our leather making tools. Got this guy here. Okay, so from here we're going to bring in our punch kit. Alright. Alright, so we worked our way all the way around the circumference. We've got an assortment of colors here that we utilize in different projects. But with this burgundy slash brown, yeah, I looked at all the different possibilities here, and thinking this is out, this is out, this is out. These three. Yeah. We want something that'll match. That matches pretty good. This matches this, but yeah, out. So it's between these two. Now let's do this. Let's take the thread out. Match it up. I like to see which one disappears more. This one, no, this one. This one basically disappears against it, whereas this one doesn't. So this one's out. This is just this is just a pointer as far as threading a needle, any type of needle. This happens to be a stitching needle. This is the method I use. You could do what you want to do, but this is what I do. All right, so I take the end of the muslin thread, I thread it through the eye, okay, and then what you want to do is you want to run it through this piece of thread right through the middle as close as possible as you can, okay, which is difficult to do, especially with a big dookie needle like this. I mean, the needle itself is thicker than the thread. So what I've found the easiest way to do it is you just bunch up the weave, okay, like something like that, and then I use an awl, and I go right through the middle of it, okay. That creates a hole, okay. See that hole? Now I can run this through. You want to pull it through like that, and then just tighten up on it, like so. Okay, that's it. Now you got a nice, connection there. Hopefully that was helpful. If not, what could I say? You just burned 30 seconds of your life. A little bit more Bix on that. So we are measuring for the eyelets. Okay, so the corner eyelets are 6 inches right on center here. So we're gonna go on the center. We're gonna go 1 inch on the center. Okay, using our hole punch, we cut our holes. We got 14 holes in total. 7 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alrighty, so we're at the stage where we're going to create the portion that holds the cartridges. Okay, and in this particular, the specs for this call for 45 Colt. Okay, so yeah, so we do have 44 Magnum, which is live cartridges, okay, which is very similar to the dimensions of a 45 Colt. All right, here's a shell that I have from a 45 Colt. I don't have any live cartridges, so I'm going to use the 44 mag for the example, and a 45 Colt shell. We're looking at 0.47 inches. Okay, it's probably slightly expanded because it has been fired, okay, at least once. This may have been fired many times, so I don't know, so the case is 0.47, whereas the case, these are brand new cartridges, brand new shells, so there's no expansion here. Okay, so the case on this is 0.45. All right, so this is more of the true size of what the 45 Colt was at one point. Okay, so this case is definitely expanded. It's seen some expansion. All right, so this holder will be able to, you'll be able to utilize, if the buyer has a couple lever action rifles, if he's got a 44 Magnum or 45 or 44 WCF, he will be able to utilize or switch this stock cover to any of those rifles. So my Winchester Yellow Boy is a WCF, but I also have Winchesters at a 44 Magnum. I don't actually own a 45 Colt. Okay, but the buyer that commissioned us for this project, he's got a 45 Colt, which is kind of cool. Real cowboy action stuff. Well, it makes sense. He's out in Kentucky, so. All right, so we got our piece of leather with a strap. All right, just gonna round off these edges. All right, so let's make sure we got a straight line on this. Okay, so we punched the 14 half-inch slots, and now we're going to cut the band that goes in there. So it's going to be half-inch by yeah, so basically just keep winding this through, like I said. Pop that through. Pull it through. Through the front. Alright, so the last loop here. Work that through. Like I said, I get the perfect length here. Usually when you're doing these, the amount of band that you have to cut for the loops is it's almost double, or it's actually a little bit more than double the length of the actual strap. You know, so keep that in mind. I'll cut a little extra just in case. You're better off cutting a little long than a little short. When you cut a little short, you're like, oh my god, that's the worst. Alright, so that's it. Alright, so we got our loops in there now. Like the way it looks. These are 44 mags. Like I said before, this will work. 44 mag, anything that's around 45 caliber. Okay, so we do 45 Colt. Okay. Anything that's 45, around 44, 45. Alright, so yeah, that's it. Got 7 cartridges. This piece. I'm trimming the excess here. And then see the back of that? Looks nice. You can see how that weaves in and out. Get my saddle brush. Clean that up. That there's a thing of beauty. I'm thinking my friend from Kentuck is going to enjoy seeing this in person. Strapping this sucker onto his 1866 Yellow Boy. First Winchester officially, the first lever action rifle that Winchester officially sold. I mean, he was involved in lots of stuff before that, but Yellow Boy 1866 was the first official. Looks good. 7 extra rounds. It's nice to have at your disposal. Alright, we're just marking a very light line to where the cartridge holder is going to go. Alright. Cartridge holder is actually going to be on top of that line, so it won't be visible. Main reason why I'm putting that line on there is because of the fact that I get to break out the barge again. You guys, girls, people, whatever, watch my videos, you'll know that I'm a barge fanatic. I love when I break out the barge because I know I'm doing a leather project. Leather is involved. Alright, so I put those lines there so I could stay within the lines. Give myself a little leeway. Alright, I left myself like an 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch on either side for error. Alright, so the barge is a product that we use just about every day for something. Maybe not every day, but we certainly use it on pretty much every leather project. Alright. So the amount of advertising I do for them, free advertising I should say, should be getting paid, but you know what? They created such a good product. Makes my projects enjoyable. That, hey. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to apply the barge here as well. Look at that. Alright, we're back in about 5 because we sped up the drying process utilizing a heat gun. Okay, which you can do, the barge. Just don't put it too close where you burn it. It'll burn the leather, even worse. But yeah, you can speed up the process because it's got an alcohol component which evaporates and thereby helping the curing and drying process. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure we got this in the right direction. I hate to put it on upside down. Should we put it on like this? Oh no, that wouldn't be no good. Okay, let's carefully apply this to the right side. Correct direction. I only got one shot at this. We only got one shot. This goes on. The bars don't like to come off. got it. You do. Alright. Just applying some pressure on there. Notice you might be saying, whoa, what are you crazy here? You putting this stuff on with the live cartridges? Well, first of all, they're very safe. B, I don't put it on with the cartridges in there. Now you can use, empty, just the shell casings if you're concerned with some sort of a issue. But you have them in there because that's going to give it your true shape where it needs to be. Okay, when it's on there. So that's why I do that. Okay, so if it's not, if the shells aren't in there and you're pulling this, you put it on and it'll stretch too much. It'll be longer, so on and so forth. This gives you a true representation. With other projects, I actually use like, I'll show you. I'm doing like a 357 or 38, something like that, or 303, or 30-06, whatever. I have plastic dowels that I use in place of the bullets. I cut these down. Got a bunch of small ones, so you can simulate the casings. But and I got all different width dowels for that. But for this, because we're doing it for the camera, we want it to be cool and do it with the live cartridges, and just for really just for the aesthetic beauty. I mean, who doesn't love brass against leather, bullets, 44 Magnum, 45 Colt, cowboy guns? Come on.